Hello, I'm Jodie and welcome to Wake Up Well. As we come to the end of our series, a summer series on holy habits, it's really good to pause and to reflect on why we've been on this journey and the difference it's made, perhaps the changes it's made to the rhythms of our days, of our weeks, of our months. And I guess the results of this adventure, I like to think of it as an adventure. This is then also going to help us to consciously plan and decide what disciplines we're going to keep in place and what our intentions are going forward. So I'm going to read from scripture today, and I'm going to break it into two sections. So the first section is from Luke chapter 6 verses 43 to 45. A good tree can't produce bad fruit, and a bad tree can't produce good fruit. A tree is identified by its fruit. Figs are never gathered from thorn bushes, and grapes are not picked from bramble bushes. A good person produces good things from the treasury of a good heart, and an evil person produces evil things from the treasury of an evil heart. What you say flows from what is in your heart. And in many ways, this is quite straightforward. It's good versus bad. Some people's lives produce good and wholesome results. Others produce evil and unwholesome results. Looking at the fruit will evidence what's on the inside, because it cannot help but display itself. And the content of your heart is revealed by the condition of your fruit. When we allow God in, when we spend time with God, our hearts will be changed. It will affect our behaviour, our actions and our words. And in particular here, it says that it will affect our words. It says what you say flows from what is in your heart. As our hearts are filled with more of God's goodness, then there should be evidence of our heart changes in the fruit of our lives. I'm going to go on now, and I'm going to read the next part of that same chapter. So it's Luke chapter 6 verses 46 to 49. So why do you keep calling me Lord, Lord, when you don't do what I say? I will show you what it's like when someone comes to me, listens to my teaching and then follows it. It is like a person building a house who digs deep and lays the foundation on solid rock. When the floodwaters rise and break against that house, it stands firm because it is well built. But anyone who hears and doesn't obey is like a person who built a house without a foundation. When the floods sweep down against that house, it will collapse into a heap of ruins. And here again, it points to our heart attitude. When we've spent time with God, when we've been obedient, the evidence will be in our words. So our actions must match our words. In other words, as verse 46 says, why do you keep calling me Lord, Lord, when you don't do what I say? Hopefully, over this period of focusing on the holy habits, we've been calling on the Lord our God, and we've been digging deep, and we've been laying some even deeper foundations into the solid rock. What makes the difference? It's when we, as followers of Jesus, come to Jesus, hear Jesus, and do what Jesus says. That's verse 47. So we have been intentionally setting aside time to come to Jesus in silence and solitude, in studying the Bible, and in prayer, meditation and contemplation. Then we've been invited to hear from Jesus and to become more like him through fasting, simplicity and community. And then we've been shown how to do what Jesus did as we practice evangelism, generosity and celebration. As it reminds us here in verses 48 and 49, those who have built firm foundations, who've invested and continue to invest in being with Jesus, in choosing to actively pursue becoming more like Jesus, and then behaving and doing the things that Jesus did, will be able to withstand the storms, the trials of life, And this year is certainly offering some unique trials, isn't it? So I want to say, well done. And may we continue in this adventure and remember, as Andrew Roberts says in his book Holy Habits, close association with Jesus, then the holiness of the one we follow begins to rub off on our lives in ways that make us more like him. And surely that is our aim, to become more like Jesus. So I bless you on this day to become more like Jesus.